Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the multiplicity project for your midterm, and this is the example that I put on Google Classroom of the different poses of my daughter and all her different dresses. So when you are taking your multiplicity pictures, remember you should use a tripod to set it up so your camera doesn't move or shake, and the only thing that needs to move through the picture is the different poses from your subject. We're going to do this in Photoshop, so let's go ahead and open that up. And then when you get Photoshop open, you need to find your pictures. So you're going to go to, and then you're going to go to Scripts and Load Files into Stack. When you click here, you're going to click on Browse, and then you need to find your pictures. So mine are in my home drive, in my photography folder, and they're right here. And then remember, if you need to change your files to have them be viewed, you can click on this icon, change them to something different, so you can actually be able to see the pictures. So let me find the pictures of Abby. I think they're down here. So I'm going to start with this one and end with the last one where she's sitting on the end. When you have all of the pictures that you need in here, click Attempt to automatically align source images. This will hopefully correct any movement that you had in the picture accidentally, and then click OK. Photoshop's going to merge them all into one photograph, but have them as separate layers. What you should see is your first picture in Photoshop, and then if you click on the Layers tab on the right hand side, you should see every other picture as its own separate layer. Now you're going to see the top picture because right now they're all hidden beneath that top picture. We're going to add what's called a layer mask to each one of these layers, and then we're going to reveal each picture beneath it. So what you need to do is click on the first picture, and then you're going to click this button right towards the bottom where it says Add Layer Mask. It's the circle inside the rectangle. When you click on it, you will get a white box next to your picture. That is the layer mask. So you need to do that to each layer. So we're going to add another layer mask to every picture, except for the very last one. We don't need to edit the very last picture, so we just have 4 layer masks on the first 4 layers. When you have these layer masks selected, you will edit the picture without damaging the actual picture, only if you have the layer mask selected. The way you tell that is by these 4 black outlines around the corner. If I click on the picture, my outlines shift. So if I was to paint something inside here, then it would be actually damaging the original picture. If I can do it to the layer mask, then I can always delete that and have my picture still be intact. So you need to make sure that your layer masks are the ones selected. The only tool you will need for this is the paintbrush, which is right down here. You need the brush tool, so you're going to either press B on your keyboard or just select it physically, which is right underneath the spot healing brush, which is the one that looks like a band-aid. Do not select this one over here. This is the quick selection tool. It looks like a paintbrush, but is a completely different tool. So you are making sure that you have this brush selected. The only other thing that you need to check before you start working on your photographs is what is called your foreground and background color. Right over here at the bottom of your screen, you have your foreground color and background color. Mine are set to black and white, which is totally fine. That's what you want. If they are not set to black and white, you need to click on the box, and then inside this color picker, you select black, click OK, click on the other box, and select white, and then click OK. Once these colors are set, you can start painting inside the layer masks with your paintbrush, and you'll start revealing the other layers, which are your other positions of your subjects. A couple more shortcuts you'll need to know. The bracket keys on your keyboard will change your brush size, so the right bracket key, which is underneath the backspace, and the left bracket key will make it smaller or larger. So right makes it larger, left makes it smaller. That will help you when you're trying to get into tighter areas. And another shortcut you'll need to know is the X key on your keyboard will change your colors from black to white. You might need to go back to white, or you might need to go back to black, depending on which part you're trying to edit, so that will come in handy too. One more shortcut you might want to know is that Control+ zooms in and Control- zooms out, so you can see what you're doing with your pictures. Okay, so I'm on my first layer here. I have black on my foreground color, and as I start painting over my daughter, it's going to make her disappear. Basically, all it's doing is it's removing that part of this first picture. It's hiding it inside this layer mask, and it's revealing the picture beneath it. And since my camera didn't move, it's just revealing the couch that's in the second picture. So she's gone out of this picture. All I have to do is bring her back and reveal the next picture down. So I'm going to hit Control-I on my keyboard, and now everything in this box that was white before is now black, and everything that is black is now white. So it's revealing the other parts of the picture. So I'm going to move down to the next layer mask, and I'm going to paint over this one. Hopefully your pictures aren't overlapping at all. That was one thing I also mentioned to you when you started taking these, because if your pictures are overlapping, it becomes harder to reveal what's beneath the next picture. Okay, there's that part. And then again, hit Control-I on your keyboard. You would move down to the next layer mask, and then paint over that subject. Right there, I'm getting kind of close to the other picture, so I'm going to slow down a little bit. After this one's done, again, I hit Control-I to inverse the colors. Then I have one more over here. Click on the layer mask. See, I have a little bit of overlap here, so I'm going to show you what to do with that. After I get the rest of her painted out. Okay, so now before I hit Control-I, I'm going to fix these overlapping parts, because if I zoom in here and I move over, that's actually the dress and her foot from the next picture. So this is where if I click X on my keyboard and I switch back to white, I can then paint that back over. And I'm going to need to make my paintbrush a little bit smaller to get into these sections. And then again, I'm going to switch back to black to get rid of that last little section of pink. And then I'm going to hit Control-I one last time. And then when I zoom out, Control-, I'll have everything all done. So that's it. I don't have to edit anything on the very last picture. If you see any of the little white and gray boxes towards the bottom of your frame, like I have a little strip on the bottom there, you can crop this out and just get rid of that little section by using your crop tool and just taking off a little bit from the bottom. And then you would need to save this final picture, so you go to File, Save As. Remember to change the format from a Photoshop file to a JPEG, and then name it Multiplicity 1. Save it. Click OK, and then you would repeat the process for your second multiplicity picture. If you have any questions during this assignment, please ask. Once all of your pictures are completed, submit them to the Google Classroom post.